Circumstances change. Maybe you're on holiday like I am right now. Don't let your fitness be derailed. Join Cycling provides adaptive, flexible training plans that adapt to your level, your availability. Check them out down below. The final stage of the Tour de France, not on the Champs-Élysées this year, a TT and a hard one too. 750 meters elevation gain from Monaco to Nice. They go through the F1 circuit, up the 20-minute climb to La Turbie, a punch-up Col d'Ez, then a fast ascent to the finish in Nice on the Promenade des Anglais. The French Riviera looking nice. The organisers would have hoped for a competitive GC battle in the final TT. All the Aerotrain fans were out to celebrate Binny Cavendish being given a big send-off after breaking the Tour de France stage win record this year. Lenny Martinez set the best time for quite a while, actually. Ciccone was one of the only, apart from Felix Gall, to opt for the road bike plus clip-ons for the first 20-minute climb plus Col d'Ez. I kind of respect it, to be honest, but we were waiting for the big guns. We saw them warming up. Vingegaard's got the helmet on. It's like half his body size. Pogacar with the ice vest on, keeping cool before maybe his sixth stage win. But the biggest change we could see was Derek G. He was in ninth on GC, just about 24 seconds behind Jorgensen, who crashed, clipped his pedal in one of the corners. We didn't see him set off because they showed Romain Bardet doing zone 2 around the French Riviera, and G was up. He was up on Jorgensen by 11 seconds at T1. At the finish, 18 seconds quicker than Tejada, but Jorgensen railed the descent, not deterred by the crash, defends his 8th place on GC. And so we were then looking at Almeida and Landa. Now, Almeida put some more time into Landa yesterday, and frankly, he's a much better time trialist, but Landa actually did one of his best TTs ever. I think he finishes in the top 6 or something, and he finishes just 33 seconds behind Jorgensen. Almeida, 20 seconds quicker than Landa. So actually, an excellent TT from Landa, but Almeida also really, really outstanding. Top 5 TT from him as well. But now the big guns. Remco Evenepoel, second favourite for the stage, sets off. I actually don't think it's the best course for him. Vingegaard, it's a good course for him. We saw him. Could he replicate the Combloux Domoncy TT where he put a minute and a half into Pogacar last year? But the climbs here, La Turbie is not as steep. And as I said, for Remco, the lack of pure flat is actually not as good for him. It's a reasonably technical start, and then a lot of climbing, and then a descent where it's about handling more than pure aero power. Because you see, they're making this look flat, but they're actually climbing right now. This is 5 and 6%, and it's a test of who can hold the TT position the longest on 6%. Remco sweating up. He looks like a racehorse. He looks like Mike Tyson when he was getting warmed up. You know, when Tyson, he'd go almost too hard in the warm-up. Remco's sweating it up I think it was quite humid today, actually, a bit overcast, not super hot. Pogacar having radio issues. He's staying to the car to increase the radio that he can't hear, maybe because they're in town and there's so much noise, the cacophony of the fans. And T1, this is what we were waiting for. At the top of La Turbie, who was the quickest? Obviously, Remco put 36 seconds into Derek G. Where was Vingegaard going to be? It looked like he was quicker. We could see he was quicker, but by how much? 19 seconds quicker than Remco, but Pogacar was storming. He was 7 seconds quicker than Vingegaard at T1, and that's the longest climb. It's not the steepest, but that's where Vingegaard, if he was going to threaten Pogacar, would need to take big time, because on this intermediate section with the pedaling downhill and these corners, you see Pogacar round the corner, spits the gel out to the right, no time to lose. Pogacar, he probably reconned this course a million times, and he pushed it today. He really, really pushed it, and also was always he seemed to be in the extensions more than the others whenever the camera was showing him, even on 5-6%. T2, the top of the steep Col d'Ez, but the shorter climb, Remco predictably puts even more time into G, but Vingegaard actually extends the gap to him. We can see he's going to go sub 30 minutes as well. But that 27 seconds, it's not a huge increase compared to La Turbie, and with Pogacar getting even quicker on the 11% gradients, we can see he's extended his gap by nearly 18 seconds over Vingegaard, and now it's Pogacar's terrain. He put 50 seconds into Vingegaard more or less on the descent off the Galibier, 25 seconds off the descent of Puy-Marie, and it was going to be another 40 seconds on this descent. This was actually almost the most interesting part of the parcours. We could see Vingegaard was a little bit less stable as he was getting prepared into the corners. Pogacar solid as a rock, and he takes actually quite a lot of, well, maybe not risks from his perspective. Maybe his team directors in the car had a little bit of a scared moment here because he's 5 minutes ahead in the Tour, got a right, left, not much time to straight braking distance, bang on the brakes, barks the bike a little. The only way Pogacar could have lost the Tour de France since last Sunday, really, was a crash. And I think the directors are probably saying, chill out a bit. It reminded me of Vingegaard actually in the Rocamadour TT at the end of 2022, but it's paying off. 1:07 on Remco Evenepoel at the end of that descent, and nearly, I think, over a minute on Vingegaard, who also, as I said, the bike's bucking underneath him, and he gets to the flat section, and obviously he's not going to be taking back a minute on Pogacar. So the stage win already settled pretty much at the top of Col d'Ez. When we got into Remco's terrain, he was the quickest on the last flat section at the end of the descent to the finish. Sets a really good time, 54 seconds ahead of Jorgensen. But to be honest, the order, the relative differences between them all, replicates what we've seen in the mountains throughout this TT. Vingegaard a bit better than Evenepoel, beats him by 11 seconds, but Pogacar 1, 2, 3 Tours de France, so good that he has time to celebrate in the last couple of kilometers, cruising into the finish and still being able to win the stage by a huge margin. His sixth stage, his third Tour de France, the most dominant win, I think, yet from him, and the UAE teammates celebrating with him at the finish. 1:03 ahead of Jonas Vingegaard, who defeated him last year, and Pogacar bounces back in a big way. Then Evenepoel, Jorgensen, Almeida, G, Landa, Tejada, good result, Buitrago, Adam Yates. Here's what Pogacar had to say after the stage.
3 years after, you're back where you've always wanted to be, on top of the Tour de France. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're a happy man.
Yeah, I'm super happy. I cannot describe how happy I am after two hard years in the Tour de France. Always some mistakes, and this year everything to perfection, and I'm out of the words. So I'm super happy to win here, and incredible.
You were always in control.
Yeah, I think this is the first Grand Tour where I was totally confident every day. Even in Giro, I remember I had one bad day, but I won't tell which one. And this year Tour de France was just amazing. I was enjoying from day one to day to until today, and I had such a great support behind me. I just couldn't let anyone down, so I was enjoying for them as well.
In terms of GC, the only change was Santiago Buitrago moving into the top 10 over Giulio Ciccone, which is kind of surprising when you see such a hard TT at the end of the race, but then when we think about how much the race has exploded in the mountain stages and how big the gaps are, therefore making up 1 or 2 minutes wasn't possible. So everyone else stays the same. I'll have a recap video later in the week. Hope you enjoyed all the Tour de France coverage, and I'll see you sometime this week. Ciao.